Welcome to this week's Hello Insider, where we're talking about Strictly Week 10. Will and Nancy topped the leaderboard with their epic Charleston with a twist, Fleur and Vito brought the passion with their Rumba, and Hamza and Jovita landed 2 10s for their Argentine tango. But it was Ellie and Johannes who were voted off, and it was an emotional goodbye for the pair. Thank you so much for joining us, Janette. Obviously, Strictly at Weekend was sad to see Ellie and Johannes leave the competition. It was really emotional. Do you think it was the right time for them to go?
I mean, it never feels like the right time for anyone to go in the competition, does it? Especially towards these weeks now, getting closer and closer to the final. Everybody really, really sees the prize at the end of the road. You know, they're so close. So nobody wants to go really more than ever at this point in the competition. But she did have the lowest scores of the night. So I guess if we listen to what the judges' opinions were in regards to the dancing, then yes, it was her time because she had the lowest scores. But I think emotionally and in terms of how much she's grown throughout the weeks and the friendship that she has with Johannes, she definitely wasn't ready to go, you know?
Yeah, as you say, it makes it so much harder. Well, the show this week, obviously it's a bit different because of the schedule change, and it's on Friday rather than Saturday. How do you think the schedule change will be making them feel? Because I guess it's kind of a loss of a day, isn't it? Will that be making them feel more nervous, do you think?
Slightly, because, I mean, it just means that they probably all rehearsed yesterday, which is technically, a day of rest. But, yeah, the pressure is on because it's less days to rehearse, less days to get everything in. And I think it will definitely show, okay, who can handle that kind of pressure and come forward and still deliver a great dance on Friday night. So we'll see. It's going to definitely keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah. We know that Kim Marsh has suffered with a bout of COVID. Firstly, do you know if she's feeling better?
I don't know specifically if she's back or not just yet, but fingers crossed she is, because we missed her at the weekend. Her and Graziano are such a great partnership, so hopefully she can dance this weekend.
Yeah, and do you think competition-wise it would make such a big difference having missed a week?
I don't know. That depends on the public and how the audience feels about it. I think it's out of her control. It's not her fault she got COVID or if this happened. So it wouldn't be fair to judge her or vote for her or not vote for her for that reason because, it can happen to anyone. So it's no one's fault, really.
Well, let's talk about Hamza's Argentine tango. The judges were a bit divided on what they thought. I think Anton said that he loved the top half but didn't love the bottom half. And the scores kind of reflected their division. Why do you think they were kind of divided, and what did you think?
I think Argentine tango is so footwork heavy. So I understand where Craig and Anton were coming from because the feet might have been a little bit floppy here and there maybe. But one of the most important aspects of the Argentine tango, in my opinion, is the leading and following aspect of it because it's so intricate. You've got to have that upside down V shape, the lifts that you need to do with your partner. She or he needs to feel like you're secure and ready to go. And I think Shirley's comment, especially, showcasing just how beautiful Jovita looks when she's dancing, is a huge, huge compliment to exactly how good of a partner Hamza actually is. And I think I'd agree more with the girls, really, if I'm honest, because it's very difficult to learn how to do that and to teach how to be that good of a partner in that short amount of time. But I don't not see where the boys are coming from either, because his feet were a little bit sloppy here and there. But I think I would oversee that and just look at how wonderful his technique was in every other way.
Yeah, I really liked Shirley's comments. She was very team Hamza and very clear on that. Shirley mentioned that she wishes she could dance with Hamza. So our question to you would be, if there was somebody who's still in the running, male or female, who do you wish you could dance with?
Oh, I couldn't pick one, because then I'd have a favorite, and I can't really have a favorite as It Takes Two hosts. But I think, again, every single one of them is bringing something so special to the table. So I wouldn't be able to pick one anyway, because I love Will's energy. I love Fleur's energy. I love Hamza's partnering. I love Helen's, oh my God, her transformation has just been sensational. I think they all have something incredible to bring to the table. So I wouldn't be able to pick one anyway.
Well, you mentioned Will. He topped the leaderboard this week for the first time in a little while. He's had a bit of an up and down roller coaster, hasn't he? What did you think of his Charleston?
I absolutely loved it. I loved how different it was. I love that they tried to go for this more like cool, modernized version of what a Charleston can be. Because I think immediately when you think of Charleston, you think of flapper dresses and the curly short hairs and the feather in your head, you know? And I love that him and Nancy kind of went with this approach of making Charleston cool and modernized and fresh. And he was so brilliant in it. I mean, he was absolutely incredible. And Nancy, you know, she's such a beautiful dancer. I'm so happy for her. Her second year on the show as a pro with a celeb partner. And she's absolutely blowing it out of the ballpark this year again with Will. So I think it was one of my personal favorites of the night because it was just such a fun dance. And I think they deserve to be at the top of the leaderboard. Yeah.
Yeah, it really suited him, that style.
Yeah,
didn't it? You could see he was loving it, like the costumes, the suit.
He's such a ball of energy, isn't he? He's constantly giving out performance and energy and storytelling, and like you feel like Will doesn't hold back an inch. He gives 150,000% of himself to every dance that he's done on that show so far.
You mentioned that some people start in the competition and you think they're going to be a front runner from day one, but there are other people who kind of grow across the process. Who would you say has had the biggest journey?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Because there's been a few this year. Normally there's one really obvious one that you go, whoa. Fleur is just, I know that she came in and she was already a powerhouse of a performer. But again, just to see what she delivered on week one to the Rumba that she just did this weekend. I don't think Fleur would have ever done that Rumba the way that she's done it now, with those feet, with those lines, with that control, but at the same time expressiveness. Like, so she's definitely had a journey for me. I feel Helen is another one who's had a massive journey, both emotionally in her confidence and in her dancing. The samba this weekend, even though she didn't get the highest scores, the samba she did, her confidence in it, she was dancing all around, she was winking, she was throwing the sunglasses, she was being cheeky with Gorks. Like, that is not something Helen would have ever done a couple of weeks into the competition even. So again, another beautiful moment for me to watch her kind of really blossoming into this confident, amazing dancer. And it really is, she said something in her VT on the show that really kind of touched my heart. And she said, you know, I thought this show was just about dancing, and it's just so much more. And it really hit the nail on the head for me of what Strictly is all about. You know, we're taking individuals who've never done anything like this before and helping them discover something about themselves that they didn't even know existed within them, you know, and they're growing as individuals, they're growing as human beings. And then at the same time, entertaining everybody at home with beautiful dancing. And, you know, I feel really, really happy to see that she's jumped all in to the whole experience, and she's grown so much from it.
Yeah, 100%. And as you say, her samba, the performance element of it really just shone through. It was just amazing. And Craig said he thought it fell a bit flat. But I think he was just talking about the technique. But I think even if the technique wasn't 100%, do you think the fact that she had so much confidence and performance kind of carried her through?
I think so, 100%. Because she, you know, technically, of course, you know, it's samba. It's a very, very, very hard dance to do. And I think without sounding off, I think especially for women, because you're in heels, you've got to wear these dresses, and you've got the big hair, and you're going like, oh God, like, you know, you get a bit shy. So it's really hard, the samba, in every way.
Touched on Fleur's dance this week, which was amazing, and her controlled lines and really harnessing that energy. They also spoke about her passion with her partner. What did you think about that?
Oh, it was passionate for sure. That's the kind of Rumba you want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all kinds of Rumbas. There's the really like emotional ones that are more like about the passion, like the one we saw with Vito. And then you have the more soft and, you know, more almost lyrical Rumbas that are a bit more balletic in nature. And then you've got the Rumbas that are a lot about the hips and the shaking and the thing. But I think they nailed it, these two, this weekend really well together, because she had gorgeous lines, she had gorgeous technique, her feet and her ankles were sensational. But then the storytelling between the two of them, you can feel them really dancing as one. And that's what you want to see when you watch a Rumba. You want to feel two people moving across the floor as one. I mean, that's in every dance, really, to be honest.
Fleur obviously found herself in the bottom two, and she's been in the bottom two a few times over the competition. Do you think she could be in trouble this week? Do you think I mean, I suppose it's unpredictable, isn't it? You never really know it's going to go, but we're getting to that point where it's such a fierce competition now, and I'm just wondering, what do you think could happen this weekend?
To say that she might be in trouble this weekend, I have no idea. I wouldn't even begin to tell you yes or no, because I would never have expected her to be in trouble in some of the times she's been in trouble in the past. So I just can't call it. But I guess that's what makes good telly. You know, it keeps us all on our toes. We just don't know what's going to happen ever. I think Rumba is a tough one. Rumba is always a hard dance. Rumba and Samba are two of the hardest dances to do on Strictly. So you always get nervous when you know that you've got them, because you want the audiences to vote for you. You want to stay in the competition. And it's technically so hard to deliver. So for her to be able to survive the Rumba and still be in this competition, although she was in the dance-off, is kudos to her and Vito. They've done a brilliant job.
Just one more question. Obviously, it's Musicals Week. So excited. Love Musicals Week so much. Is there anything you can tease about what's coming up?
Do you know what? I wish I could, but because I'm no longer a pro, they don't tell me anything anymore. I'm like the proper fan now on It Takes Two. I sit down and I chat with them, and I'm a fangirl now with all of them.
I love it.
I'll know a little bit more throughout the week, because obviously on It Takes Two we talk about costumes and we talk about the group numbers that they're going to be doing this weekend. But I would assume expect big, because it's Musicals Week. We have an audience again. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a really exciting week to watch the show. It's one of my favorite weekends of the show as well. So I'm excited. I think I only ever did one Musicals Week while I was still a pro. And so I was gutted I never got to do it, but it is the most fun of the competition.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait. So excited. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Janette. Thanks so much for watching our Strictly Insider. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head over to Hello Magazine for more Strictly news.